Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you guys an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you grabbed a snack, stayed for a while, and click the subscribe button. I would love to have you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. As you can tell by the title of the video, my Patrick Ta palette has finally arrived. This is the Major Dimension 2 Rose palette. I'm excited. I am excited to review this palette. It literally just came in a couple of hours ago. So I got my base ready and now I am here with you guys to get this review started. I think I'll be creating 3 eye looks and do some swatches and tell you what I think about this new palette from Patrick Ta. So if that sounds like a video that you would like to see, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Okay guys, so the Major Dimensions 2 palette from Patrick Ta. I just recently started digging into the brand. My very first purchase from the brand was the Patrick Ta Major Dimension palette. This is the first eyeshadow palette that he released. And as you can tell, it's more of a neutral type of palette. It's a beautiful palette. Mine's definitely not as used as other reviews you have seen, but it is a beautiful palette and you can definitely tell that I have picked it up because I have fingerprints all over it. He announced that he was coming out with another one, except this one had a little bit more of a rosy mauvey type of tones to it. Here it is, and as you can tell, it's a little bit different from the first palette, which I'm actually very glad that it is, because you can tell the difference between the two. Even the rose gold tone in this is different from the original one. You can tell this one's more of like a true rose gold and this one's a tiny bit muted. Now yes, it's that material that's going to get dirty as soon as you touch it, but still very beautiful, and I do enjoy this type of packaging. All right, so here she is. Very pretty, and he did include 2 cream shades in this palette as well. One thing right off the bat that I do notice right away is that you have more shimmer finishes than you do in the first palette. So as you could tell, the mattes are on the bottom, shimmers are at the top. And I do also enjoy that it goes from lightest all the way to darkest, excluding the 2 cream shades. It does look like a very beautiful palette, and I'm actually pretty excited to dig into this. I will be doing swatches, I will be doing comparisons and all that good stuff, but why don't we go ahead and get started with these eye looks since I will be doing 3 of them. All right, I got you nice and close. I did set my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot, and I am going to do the first eye look, more of a subtle eye look. Now, when I like to see eye looks, I prefer seeing both eyes with the same eye look, but since we are doing 3 of them, I'm going to do one eye, another eye look in this eye, and then the third and final eye look will be on both eyes. I'm going to try my best to get it all done in the same day. So more than likely, the third eye look isn't going to include sunlight because yeah, you guys already know. This palette cost $68. I did forget to mention, and it was made in the USA. But since the Sephora VIB sale is going on, you can get it at a discount. I paid total of $58.89 with my 20% off from being a rogue, and that is with taxes and everything. So that was actually really nice, and I do appreciate the fact that even though it's a new release, they still allowed you to use your discount. Okay, let's get started. For the first shade, and as you could tell, it's untouched. Haven't even swatched this. I'm going to dip into the lightest cream shade. It feels very creamy, almost oily. That's what the shade looks like. All right, I'm using a Sigma E57. It's like a flat brush. And I think I'm going to put this on the whole eyelid and just blend it out and kind of smoke it out a tiny bit. Bring it on the lower lash line as well. right, guys, this is what that beautiful shade looks like. So I started off with the Sigma E57 because I do remember that the cream shadows in the first palette from Patrick Ta, even though they were pretty easy to work with, they weren't easy to blend unless you were using a tiny bit stiff brush like this one. Well, I picked up this e.l.f. brush. It's like a fluffy brush because I didn't like the way it's blending out, and this blended it out with no issues, literally so much ease. It's a very user-friendly cream shadow, and I'm loving that because I don't feel like the cream shadows in the first palette are this easy to use. They're easy to use, but not this easy. Now I'm going to jump in to, let's do this shade right here. I would tell you the names, but I always butcher them because when the shade names are in the back, I always end up messing up and telling you the wrong shade. So I'd rather just point at the shade. Okay, this is a Morphe M330, and I'm going to add this to the outer corner. Just deepen it up a tiny bit. This is going to be like the easy, everyday look, least amount of effort. I'm going to bring it on the lower lash line. And wing it out, as you can tell, like I did that cream. Okay, that is what that looks like. I deepened it up, but it's a very subtle shade, and I feel like it's pretty close to the same tone or same depth as the cream shade, but you can still see that it's a tiny bit deep in the outer corner. All right, I think now I'm going to dip into one of the shimmer shades, and let's do this one. It has like a pinky shift, it looks like. Okay, so it does feel like that chunky glitter, but not in a bad way. It looks pretty, and I feel like it has a shift to it. It does. Okay. And I lightly dipped my finger into it. I don't want too much pigment. I just want a subtle sparkle and a glow. Okay, I thought I was recording, but I did jump into this shade, and I used that flat fluffy brush, the E57 from Sigma, and used it in the inner corner. So let me put on some mascara and I will show you what it looks like. Done. All right, guys, and here is eye look number 1 done. I decided to not put any lashes on and just do my natural lashes with about 2 coats of mascara. And I did go in to one of Wayne Goss's liners. This is one of his kohl liners, and what shade is this? In Copper Flame. I love this. I thought it was perfect for this rosy eye look. I do feel like it came out beautiful, very simple, soft, something you can wear every day to the office. Here it is. I did go in to the highlight that I'll be using for today for the brow bone, and I did add just a tiny bit right in my inner corner on top of that shimmer shade. But yeah, here is eye look number 1. So when we go ahead and move on to eye look number 2. Okay, and for the next eye look, I'm going to start with the dark cream shadow. I think I'll be doing a halo eye for this eye look. This is an M506. It's a nice little precise small brush, and you can actually dip right into the cream shade. They are that like creamy. So I'm going to, oh yeah, you see. Okay. My kids are being very loud. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, these creams are so much creamier than the first palette. And I definitely feel they have more pigment to them as well. Get on the lower lash line as well. And they do dry down, so they don't stay tacky, which is nice. Okay, that shade is also very pigmented. But what I did is I cleaned off that e.l.f. brush and I just lightly buffed the edges out on this top portion here, and then right on the lower edges down here. I'm telling you, these cream shadows just feel like they are blending so much easier than they are in the first palette, which is very refreshing, honestly. Okay, I am going to darken up that shade a tiny bit, and I think I'm going to use this shade right here, just in the outer corner and the inner corner a tiny bit. I'm dipping into my Morphe M506. I didn't clean it off since it already has some dark pigment in it from that cream shade, and it's almost all gone, so it should be fine. I dipped into it very lightly because I don't know how pigmented it's going to be. And I'm literally just going to keep it like right in the corner. And then right in this outer corner, and also on the lower lash line, just in the outer corner. Just want to deepen it up a tiny bit more. All right, now let's pick a shimmer for the middle. And I think what I'm going to do is pick a dark one. So maybe this one right here. And then I'm going to layer it with this one. See how that looks. So that first shade, which I feel looks more like a rosy orange, like a copper almost. Well, no, actually there's a little bit of red in there. Tiny bit, not too much, but it's pretty. Yeah, I get like that fire orange from it. It's gonna go right in the middle. Oh, this shade is so pretty. It has like gold specks in there. Gorgeous. It is bust time. Just forewarning you. All right, now I'm going to dip into this shade right here. And I'm going to very lightly dip into it because I don't want it to alter too much what I already have. It's kind of just like a second topper shade. So it can give the middle like a 3D type of reflect. With my pinky finger, I am going to dip into that same shade, and I'm actually going to put this in this inner corner that's just kind of bare. Okay, this is what the eye look looks like before mascara and all the good stuff. I think I'm going to use my highlighter for the inner corner just to brighten it up. The lightest shimmer shade in this palette is a tiny bit too dark for this. Okay, I'll be back. All right, guys, and here is eye look number 2 finished. I decided to just do mascara as well. I did go in to the highlight that I used for the inner corner and the brow bone. I did go in to that same Wayne Goss kohl liner in Copper Flame for the waterline and to tight line, and yeah, here it is. I feel like you get a copper rose tone in this palette. So far, I feel like that's what I've been getting with the 2 eye looks that I created. Let me zoom on out real quick, show you both with the full face, and then we'll move on to look number 3. Okay, here is what both eye looks look with a full face. I'm loving the undertones of this palette. So far, I think I'm liking this palette a lot more than the first palette. But here is this eye look, the full face. Definitely more subtle. And here is this eye look. Which is a tiny bit more bold. I'm loving the halo eye. On the rest of my face, I do have on a little bit of more Patrick Ta for the blush. I have the She's Blushing. Beautiful. I used the powder first and then the cream on top. For the bronzer, I did use his bronzer cream and powder duo in She Sculpted. As I'm talking to you right now, all the shades have just been restocked. And also for the brows, I did go in with his Lamination Brow Gel. I love this. It is one of my all-time favorite brow gels. Like, this is the bomb. diggity. I don't have any lip products from him. I might invest in some, but for now, I don't have any. I did go in to my Melt Cosmetics. This is the Perfectionist Lip Pencil in Cashmere, and then I went ahead and smudged this lipstick with my finger. It is Wedding Bells from Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and move on to look number 3. For eye look number 2, I wanted to keep it simple, something that you can wear every day. For eye look number 2, I kind of wanted to play with the darker shades and see what we can do. For the third eye look, I don't really have a plan. I'm just gonna go in and see what calls to my heart. Okay, so let's get started. All right, let's start with this third and final eye look. Please excuse the lighting. It's a little bit later in the day and I'm trying to use natural lighting until I can't anymore. Sometime throughout this eye look, I might have to turn on the rest of my lights, but for now, I think we're good. Okay, so third and final eye look. I think I'm going to start with one of the darker shades. So I think I'll start with this one right here. This is a Rephr 01. It's like a flat, fluffy brush. It's clean, it's just stained. And I'm going to focus this shade on the outer crease. I do still have mascara. I only took the eyes off. I thought I was almost going to have to take off everything, but luckily I was able to save it. I think it looks decent. I just still have mascara left over. Right now it looks like I have pigment. You know, I thought this shade was going to look a little bit more berry tone, but it's not. It looks like a brown. It's fine, it's still a pretty color. It definitely looks more like a brassy brown. Okay, this is what that shade looks like. And now I am going to dip into this shade right here. This is a Morphe and Ariel A20, so it's like a fluffy flat brush. I'm going to add that right next to this shade. And I am going to add it in the inner corner and layer it tiny bit on top of that other shade. All right, this is what that's looking like. I honestly feel like this one looks kind of like a berry, right? Maybe once I swatch it, but like on my eyes with my skin tone, it looks like a coppery brown. It's so weird. All right, I'm going to dip into this shade right here and just a tiny bit, not too much of that shade because it is kind of dark. And I'm going to add that right here in the outer corner. I just kind of want to see what it looks like. And it looks just like the pan, and it's beautiful. That's a beautiful shade. Okay, now I am going to jump into this shade right here, and I am going to clean up the edges, don't you worry. That's gonna go right in the inner corner, and I am swiping because I wanted to kind of mesh with that mauve shade. Okay, I did forget to mention that I did use my MAC paint pot and I never set it when I use it. Okay, now with this shade, the lightest one in the palette, this is just a Morphe like fluffy brush. I'm going to clean up the edges of the eyeshadow and just kind of make it look airbrushed. If you ever feel like you went too low, just grab whatever brush you use for like your concealer or foundation and kind of just, and it cleans it right up. Okay, now with my pinky finger, I'm going to jump in to Let's do that pretty pink one, the one that has the shift in it. And we're going to add this right here in the inner corner, just lightly. Okay, here is what the eye look is looking like before mascara and all the good stuff. I did go into my highlighter and did the inner corner and the brow bone just so you could see that before I put all the rest of the stuff. Okay, I'll be back and then we'll go into swatches, comparisons, and all the good stuff. All right, guys, and this is what the final eye look looks like. I did go in with that same Wayne Goss eyeliner in Copper Flame, and I had the same base that I had on for eye look number 1 and 2. So the same bronzer, blushes, all that good stuff. But yeah, here it is. Luckily I was able to build up my mascara pretty well. I did not want to add any lashes. I felt like this look does not need it. But I love this eye look. I think it is beautiful. Now, if I had to pick a favorite out of the 3, I have no idea. I don't know which one, because they were all so beautiful in their own way. And I'm really enjoying that red copper undertone. The only one that disappointed a tiny bit is this dark brown that looks like it might have a berry tone, but for some reason on my eyes, it's just looking like a warm kind of brown. All right, so let me scoot you on out so I can show you some swatches and compare the 2 palettes. Okay, let's compare these palettes side by side. So at the top is the Major Dimension, the first one, and in the bottom is the Rose one. So you can definitely tell the bottom has more of the red tones, and the original Major Dimension is like a literal neutral palette. When I first purchased this, I thought it was more on the warm tone side, but honestly, no, I think now that I have used it, it's more neutral than anything. So honestly, it just depends on what you gravitate more towards. So here are swatches side by side, and this is my right hand. So as you can tell, on swatches, the tones are definitely different, and you can definitely see these 2 shades, which are the topper shades. The like oomph to them are not as much as these right here. I definitely feel like the topper shades in this palette, these 2 right here, are the star of the show, even though they get hard pan. If you can see that. Can you see the hard pan? They are still my 2 favorite shades in this palette. And I do hate the fact that there is these 2 mattes here. This one, I don't even know what to call it, because it's not really a matte, but it does have shimmer, but it doesn't feel as soft as a matte. Whereas this one right here, it's a matte, but it has specks of glitter and it feels like a matte. Yeah, this shade right here, the formula is so odd and I don't even know what to call it. I have that shade right here. I mean, it looks like a matte, but the texture of it, it's not a matte. I don't know what it is. And for the Rose palette, he didn't include any of those shades in here, which I 100% appreciate. You did get a variety of shimmers, or formula shimmers, I should say. This one is more of like your satin type of shimmer. This one is leading more towards in between that chunky shimmer and your topper, because it does have more pigment than these 3. I would definitely consider these 3 to be your toppers. For sure. Yeah. Whereas that one, it definitely does have more pigment than these. Can you see that? So I do really appreciate that. I definitely feel like Patrick Ta listened to the feedback that he got on the palette, the first one. His team probably watched all of the reviews and reported back to him and let him know this is what they're not liking, because I do feel like he changed a few of the things that I personally didn't like. The creams for sure is one of the major differences that I see And upon swatching, you can definitely tell the difference. Like, even though they look nice and pigmented, when you swatch the ones in the new one, just the texture is different. They feel more emollient, almost oil-based, but I don't think they are. And then these blend out so much easier. Like, I'm telling you, when I blended it out with a brush, it was like, and with these, I feel like once you stick them down, they kind of stay in place. Like, I'm having a hard time just smudging them. Like, once you place them down, they stay there. And these, like, they blend. You can keep blending and blending and blending, and they will blend. I don't know. This formula from the Rose, the cream ones, I prefer 100% more, even though they do feel upon touching them that they're a tiny bit more oily. Once you blend it out, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They don't even feel oily. They almost turn to like a matte shadow, and they stay on and they dry down. I don't know what he changed, but he did an amazing job with changing that formula and making it literally 100% idiot proof. He knocked it out of the park as far as formula wise. And if he did listen to his audience, he hit the mark on improving on the things that he needed to improve. Now, $68 is definitely pricey, but the VIB sale is going on right now. And I thought that was actually pretty awesome that they actually launched it on the day that the sale started, and people could get it 20% off. Like I said, I paid $58.89 total after taxes and everything, so that's pretty awesome. I think when I purchased this after taxes and everything, it was over $70, which is crazy if you think about it. So if I had to go back and only pick one, I would pick this one over the original. Even though this one's beautiful and it's like your perfect everyday palette, the shimmers, at least the two toppers in there, are my absolute favorite. I really adore them. He just knocked it out of the park when it comes to the new one. You have more shimmers in there. You have a purpose for every matte, and the formula on the cream shadows is absolutely gorgeous. So I would definitely recommend this palette to you. I don't think it's sold out yet, which is great. 10% is still better than nothing. I don't know if he still has the 15% off on his website, but that was also very amazing of him to do, in case you weren't like a rogue, you know, and you could have purchased it as soon as he launched it. Yeah, he did amazing. I am truly enjoying this brand. I'm slowly dipping into more things, and I'm not disappointed in what I have tried. So big thumbs up. All right, guys, before I end this video, I did want to mention real quick, I did watch Makeup by Cheryl. She is an actual makeup artist. She's based in Canada, and I discovered her channel about 6 to 8 months ago. And when she reviewed this palette, she did mention that it is supposedly not vegan because it does contain carmine. I don't know how 100% accurate that is, because I did go on to the Patrick Ta website, and it does say that it is vegan. If you see right there, I hope you can see it, vegan, cruelty-free, and then gluten is crossed. So I don't know if that is correct. If you guys know, I tried looking at the ingredients in the website for Patrick Ta. I don't see it. I looked at the ingredients in the Sephora website, and I don't see carmine on there. I'm gonna have to get like a little, because I mean, the ingredients on here are so small. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to find it. If you know this to be true, let me know down below, or comment. But just FYI, I'm letting you know in case that is true and you are, you know, vegan and don't want to purchase a palette that is not. All right, with that being said, it concludes this video where I review the new Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. I create 3 eye looks, show you some swatches, comparisons, all the good stuff. I hope you enjoyed the eye looks. I had so much fun creating them. This palette is truly a beauty. Okay, I would love it if you gave this video a big ol' thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would definitely help me out in the algorithm of hopefully bringing some new and fresh eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. All right, guys, I will see you on the next video. Bye.